the Graham Potter one, because you know that period where you obviously had quite a difficult period and there was a lot of pressure. Would you have gone to people above in the club, or would you have a very open chat with them about the pressures you were under, the pressures from the fans, maybe what the things you get, and so Graham will be in a sort of similar position now? Would you sort of sought someone's backing and assurance and how you would feel?
Yes, and with me they were really supportive, but at the end you have to win football matches, because you know that if the run continue, that it is unsustainable. So I knew that I had to win against Norwich and win against Burnley then and afterwards, and then everything it helps, and the environment starts to get better and everybody is more confident, and you can keep going. But we depend on results, unfortunately.
Talking about Everton, obviously in the game they scored from a header, and there were a couple of. Have you worked specifically on maybe dealing with crosses and the aerial threat that they might pose?
For sure, against Everton, and set pieces and the direct play, you have to work on that. You have to try to prevent it. But even if you do, doesn't mean that you're gonna stop it, because when a team is so good at doing something and they practice it every day, it's not easy to stop it. But certainly we will try.
Is that stopping at a source?
Sorry?
Is it stopping at a source?
That's the best way.
Nick? Hi. Starting from Wednesday, 4 of your next 5 league games are at home, and they're all against bottom half teams. That's quite an unusual kind of run. Big opportunity ahead in those games.
Yeah, but the bottom or not bottom in this league for me is not so important. And we have had many experiences, and a lot of teams have already this season experiences on that. Don't take anything for granted. Tomorrow we have to earn the right to win that game, and that's going to be tough.
How important is it though, in terms of the season, to capitalise on such a run of home games like that? 4 in 5, it is a big chance to get some momentum going.
If we are where we are, it's because we've been really consistent home and away, and we're going to have to continue to that. The home form, obviously, it has to be excellent to give you the best possible chance, and we're going to have to continue to do that.
And just one about goal difference, it's 10 less than City's at the moment, and you never know, at the end that can almost be an extra point. Is that in your mind at the moment, kind of maybe using a run like this?
Well, everything is important. Obviously, when you have that advantage, that allows you an extra game sometimes, or on an extra flip. But at the moment is what it is, and we know that we have to improve that.
Mark? Going back, a couple of weeks ago you lost to Everton, and you sort of almost struggled at Goodison. But Everton's record against Arsenal away is absolutely dreadful, and it seems to be weird that teams can be so good at home, so poor away. And even going back to your time as a player, you regularly got battered by Arsenal. Why do you think that is? Why does that happen?
I think the home advantage is there. You know, all the stats mentioned the same. We saw against COVID without the crowd what happened, which it was a really interesting thing. But when you talk about energy, when you talk about what you are able to create in any stadium, it has an effect for a home and away team, and that's why I think the Emirates has been a very different place to play in front of our crowds.
But does Everton almost change their mentality, their tactics, and become less adventurous when they play more?
I don't think there are some things that, but they do. Sometimes can you change it, or is the opponent that forces you to change it? But it is like that for many teams.
Darren?
What have you learned, Mikel, from last year when you did have games in hand in the race for 4th place, but ended up not getting the points? And in general, do you prefer games in hand, or do you prefer points?
It's not that I prefer. We have to play the same amount at the end. The fixtures or circumstances like what happened for the Everton game to get postponed is what it is, and now we have a huge opportunity tomorrow to take advantage of that, and we're going to grab it.
What have you learned from last year when you did have those games in hand but you didn't manage to win them?
Well, there were really different circumstances. Obviously we lost certain players, we didn't play well enough. We missed some big chances and opportunities in certain games. They were all different, but tomorrow we're going to need almost a perfect game to win it, for sure.
Just one other, talking about this incident with Saliba and Gabriel, there have been other incidents as well. Do you believe Arsenal are getting back to a point where they have on-pitch leaders, which is what has been levelled at them for many years, not having leaders on the pitch, involved individuals on the pitch?
Yes, I think we have more vocal players, we have players with different mentality, and we have players with different willingness to win every single game.
Dan?
Mikel. I'm not suggesting you use these in negotiations with, or in talks with the club, just referencing what Gary asked earlier, but obviously Graham mentioned you and Jurgen as an example of the power of giving managers time. When you were going through your issues, were there any managers or teams that you kind of used to keep your faith that if you would get the time that you would pull through?
No, I was just focused on how to turn things around, how to make the team play better, be more efficient, get players back, because we had 11 players out of the squad on that period, so we needed players back as quick as possible as well.
And did any managers get in touch with you around that time, and would you get in touch with Graham now, just kind of as solidarity of people?
Well, when you have a close relationship with managers, which I had in Spain, some of them were in Italy, some of them were here, of course you get in touch. Sometimes they give you support, like we all do when someone is going through a difficult, maybe not on the phone, but just at least a nice text of support.
You able to tell us who they were?
No.
And finally we'll go to Simon from the Standard for a couple.
When the games now are coming so thick and fast and twice a week, is the message to the squad that some people might not have played at any moment, you could need to step up and you can be the key player, you can be the person who makes the difference?
Well, it's not necessary, they know that, and that doesn't change throughout the season, but obviously when we have now the fixtures that we have in the next 16, 17 days, they know that is going to happen, and for me everybody looks fit and ready to play.
And just one on Graham about the abuse and the threats. How much of a problem is this for the sport of football? And what do you think can be done to help managers and players who are receiving this?
I don't know. We have discussed that many times, where you draw the line, what is acceptable, what is not. Unfortunately, it happens. It's very easy to hide behind a telephone. Very difficult to control, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone.